The 2014-2015 fiscal budget one step closer to being passed as the nation's leader wrapped up the debate in Parliament last night.
Parliamentarians returned to the House of Assembly this morning to comb through each of the head items in the budget before it is passed. In it, a myriad of reforms to ensure fiscal redress and a planned approach to help decrease spending.
Well, also as a part of the new financial roadmap is 39 new projects valued at about $5 billion. But last night, Prime Minister Christie touched on a wide range of points in his contribution. Chief among them, gaming reform and the issue of value-added tax.
Candido Knowles has been following parliamentary proceedings and tells us tonight that the nation's leader made some very interesting pronouncements about how VAT and customs duties will coexist.
Despite concerns about double taxation with the introduction of value-added tax, Prime Minister Christie told Parliament last night that this is simply not the case. In fact, the nation's leader announced that customs duties will be adjusted to allow both taxes to coexist without burdening Bahamians. And even when the tax does come on stream, Mr. Christie said his government made sure there was money allocated in this budget for the enhancement of social safety net programs. While Bahamians might be afraid of VAT's introduction at 7.5%, the inevitable tax is one the Prime Minister says is crucial to his government's plan for growing the economy.
As we finalize the VAT bill and settle on the list of exemptions from VAT, there will be occasion to examine selective customs and excise reductions that are justifiable and appropriate. We expect the new VAT, with a start date of January 1st, 2015, to generate added revenue in 2014-15 on the order of 1.5% of GDP. I explained as well that we expect on a very cautious and conservative basis and for prudent fiscal planning purposes to garner some 0.14% of GDP in revenue from the web shop.
And with mounting criticisms about his government's proposed fiscal plan, which stands at nearly $2 billion, the Prime Minister held steadfast to the notion that this is in fact the best budget for the country at this time, with reforms in a wide range of areas.
Mr. Speaker, in the final year of our previous mandate, financial year 2006-07, my government left a recurrent expenditure at a level of 17.4% of GDP. The administration that succeeded us in 2007 then proceeded to inflate the level of recurrent expenditure so blatantly that its rate soared relative to the size of the economy. That is a clear prescription for fiscal disaster, as it is ultimately the size of one's economy that dictates the level of revenue that will be available to pay for public expenditure.
Despite questions from former F&M Finance Minister Sir William Allen about government's commitment and ability to contain spending, Prime Minister Christie said it is simply incomprehensible how the former minister logically drew his conclusions upon an objective reading of the budget. Here's how the Prime Minister clarified his government's plan for spending.
The numerous and varied reforms to expenditure control that we have implemented and which I set out in detail in the budget communication will continue to bear fruit as we move ahead. On the basis of our dogged pursuit of our spending discipline, we expect the rate of recurrent expenditure to continue to decline relative to the size of the economy. And Mr. Speaker, we're projecting by 2016-17, recurrent expenditure is expected to represent some 19.6% of GDP.
And with that clarification, the Prime Minister said if one wishes to measure the fiscal responsibility of his government, one only needs to view the facts, which he said are clearly visible. Candido Knowles, ZNS Network News.